In any sport, the draft is the way to go. It's the best way for a team to build a successful championship squad. Since we learned that spending money in free agency doesn't always guarantee championships, teams are beginning to realize that draft selections are much more valuable. Unfortunately, some sports teams always seem to get it wrong when it comes to the draft. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we take a look at the 10 worst drafting teams in sports. And a big shout out to Steele Anderson for suggesting this list. And we do hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, feel free to click subscribe down below for more cool videos every single day. Number 10, Miami Heat. So Dwayne Wade was a franchise-changing pick, sure. But other than that, what have the Heat really done? Heat bandwagon fans shall not forget they signed LeBron James and Chris Bosh. They did not draft them. So far, 2015 first-rounder Justice Winslow looks like a bust. P.J. Hairston, their 2014 first-round pick, isn't on the team anymore. The Heat haven't drafted a notable name since Wade, and that was in 2003. Moving along. Number 3, Montreal Canadiens. Out of every Habs picked since 2010, only 3 guys are regulars on the roster. Brendan Gallagher, drafted in 2010, is a quality second-line forward. Center Alex Galchenyuk has battled injuries, but when healthy is among the league's better centers. And defenseman Nathan Beaulieu hasn't been that consistent as the 17th pick from the 2011 draft. Basically, the Habs are just terrible at drafting. Their top stars are Carey Price and Max Pacioretty, drafted in 2005 and 2007 respectively. Other than that, there's not much drafted talent on this roster. Number 8, Oakland Raiders. We should have them up higher, but their last couple of drafts have put the Raiders back in the playoffs. Before that, though, they took Roland McClain with the 8th pick in 2010. He was off of the team 2 years later. They took Darius Hayward-Bay 7th overall in 2009. He barely did anything and left the team in 2013. Jamarcus Russell was taken 1st overall in 2007. He was taken over the likes of Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson, and Darrelle Revis, to name just a few. Fabian Washington was a 23rd pick in 2005. Who went right after him? Aaron Rodgers. No wonder Oakland missed the playoffs every year from 2003 to 2015. Number 7, Minnesota Timberwolves. We were hesitant to put them on here since they nailed the pick of Karl Anthony Towns. But before that, well, they haven't made the playoffs since 2004 for a reason. They took Paul Grant with their first pick in 1997, and he was a major bust. They took Indy Eby with their first pick in 2003 and missed out on Josh Howard and Mo Williams, among others. They took Derek Williams 2nd overall in 2011. He was off the team by 2013. Get the trend? Minnesota just can't draft. Number 6, Philadelphia 76ers. So 2016 first-rounder Ben Simmons looks pretty good. But taking Elfrid Payton with the 10th pick in 2014 before trading him was silly. Why'd they draft Glenn Rice Jr. in the first round of 2013, only to flip him for picks? Also 16th overall pick in 2011, Nikola Vucevic was off the team a year later. 2nd overall pick of the 2012 draft, Evan Turner failed in Philly. And those are just some of the many names Philly drafted that ended up being busts. Number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. When you go 9 years without making the playoffs and counting, chances are it's because you can't draft. The jury is out on 2014 first-rounder Blake Bortles. Stay tuned. But Luke Joeckel, taken with the 2nd pick, was selected before Sheldon Richardson, one of the league's top pass rushers. Jacksonville also missed out on star receiver DeAndre Hopkins and superstar running back Le'Veon Bell. They took Justin Blackmon with the 5th pick in 2012. Anyone know where he is? Don't get us started on their draft selection Blaine Gabbert in 2011 either. 8th overall pick in 2008, Derek Harvey left the team by 2010. Hey Jacksonville, the terrible drafting store called, and they're running out of you. Number 4, Vancouver Canucks. Take a look at their current roster. The Sedin twins were drafted in 1999 and remain their best players nearly 2 decades later, and that's just sad. The last star the Canucks drafted? Corey Schneider in 2004, before trading him to New Jersey in 2013. They also drafted Ryan Kessler in 2003, only to flip him to the Anaheim Ducks 11 years later for a terrible return. This team is a knack for drafting players that take 4 to 5 years to reach the NHL, only to trade them. Just ask promising center Cody Hodgson. Oh, and that flashy speedster Michael Grabner. No wonder the Canucks are so awful. Number 3, Detroit Lions. Sure, Matthew Stafford turned out to be what they wanted, and nobody's hating on the draft selection of Calvin Johnson from 2007. But come on, Eric Ebron from the 2014 draft has yet to develop. And to think they could have had Odell Beckham Jr., arguably the league's top receiver, or pass rushing star Aaron Donald. 2012 first-rounder Riley Reif hasn't been a star. He went before Alshon Jeffrey and Doug Martin, FYI. And 2010 first-rounder Javid Best did nothing in the Motor City. Neither did 2008 first-rounder Godseer Sherilis. And 10th overall pick from 2005, Mike Williams failed to pan out as well. Number 2, Sacramento Kings. Good on them for having DeMarcus Cousins in 2010, but also good on them for drafting Isaiah Thomas before trading him. And they also drafted Hassan Whiteside, who's no longer with the team. Basically, Sacramento likes to draft great players and let them go. 2014 first-rounder Nick Stauskas has failed to develop so far. 7th overall pick from 2011, Bismack Biyombo is no longer on the team. Jason Thompson, their first pick from 2008, didn't exactly pan out either. If they're the Kings of anything, it's drafting poorly. And number 1, Cleveland Browns. Oh boy, where do we begin? The most laughed-at organization in sports took Tim Couch first overall in 1999. Talk about a quarterback who was an absolute bust. Brady Quinn, the 22nd overall pick from 2007, failed to develop as a starting quarterback the Browns wanted. 2011 first-rounders Trent Richardson and Phil Taylor really failed to do anything, but at least they traded Richardson and got a first-round pick out of it. And they used that pick to eventually get Johnny Manziel, 22nd overall in 2014. Oh yeah, and they took Brandon Weeden with the 22nd pick in 2012. LOL. Different names, same results. A quarterback that was a bust. Okay, we're done. The Browns are easily number 1. What other teams are terrible at drafting? Join us in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.